What is fear? What does it sound like? And what does it look like? What's up, guys? This is Cashren from Exterminate, and today I've got another Doctor Who lore video for you. And today we're going to talk about Daleks. Daleks are a genetically engineered mutant warrior race. They originate from the planet Skaro, and they are led by many different groups. The most notable two would be Davros and the Dalek Emperor. Now, their casing is made from Dalekanium, which is found on Skaro, and polycarbide, which is found on Earth and surrounding planets around Earth. The Daleks have openly acknowledged a single greatest enemy, which would be the Doctor. They both hate and fear him, and in a really weird way, they also respect him. Because he has so much hate filled within himself for the Daleks, they see that as a very beautiful thing, which is very ironic if you ask me. Now, the Daleks fought in the last Time War, the last great Time War against the Time Lords, and it almost ended their race. The Daleks almost were wiped out of existence. If you remember in the last video we were talking about, we talked about how the Time Lords were considered the top of the line. And now you've got the Daleks, who were just coming into their own. They had all this power, and they decided to get into a war with the Time Lords, and they almost won, but at the same time they were about to lose everything because of it. There was definitely no going back. There wouldn't have been a way for them to really rebuild after all the losses. They are intensely xenophobic, racist, speciesist, and they are bent on universal domination. Essentially, if you are not a Dalek, you are not worthy of living. And they wanted to destroy anyone who was not like them at all. Essentially, they were hated and feared throughout space and time. So basically, think Nazi squids on crack in a can. Daleks may look robotic, however they are cyborgs. Inside the casing is a living organism that's been mutated from its original Khalid ancestors, and so they're not really humanoid anymore. They look like almost a squid-looking thing with tentacles and an eye. Sometimes they will have two eyes, where the left eye is a little bit smaller than the right eye, but for the most part, they either have one eye or some weird mutated looking eyes. Something that I find very interesting is the similarity between them and the Cybermen, who we will be talking about next video. Now, unlike the Cybermen, the Daleks have been mutated so much that they are way past their Khalid ancestry, and they've become just this mutated sludge, whereas the Cybermen take the bodies of humans or other living organisms, and they upgrade them and turn them into Cybermen. Daleks could actually do the same thing. If you are a human with a very high intellect, the Daleks would take you, they would hook you up to their path web, and their path web is like a hive mind. It's like an artificial and telepathic hive mind, and that holds all their information. They hook you up to that, and they turn you into a Dalek slowly, first through your psychology, they change you through your mind, and then finally they change you physically, until finally all that's left of you is, well, what's left of them, the squid-looking mutant. So they will, after you've gotten to that point, they will throw you into the Dalek casing, and there you're pretty much a Dalek forever. I would say probably past the psychological changes. I would say by that point it's too late for you. if you're just getting into the psychological change, you may be able to come out of it. You may be comatose, but you'll at least come out of it. Whereas I would say if you've gotten to that point of physical change, there's not much anyone can do for you at that point. Once you are in the shell, you are a Dalek. It does not matter. Now, if you remember from the Smith arcs, one of Clara's clones actually became a Dalek. And it was interesting when I saw that episode because it showed that just because you are turned into a Dalek, that does not necessarily mean you are always one of them. She was the only exception though. Everyone else would pretty much turn into a Dalek. Their rage for actually becoming a Dalek would probably make them turn into a Dalek, honestly. I would say that they would psychologically go insane because they are so angry that they're now a Dalek, and that would probably drive anyone just up the wall. So to me, I would say that is probably one of the scariest things about the Daleks is they could just take anyone and basically strip their humanity away from them. And they have another form of doing this to lesser life forms. Now, if you have a high intelligence, okay, they will turn you into a Dalek. However, if you have a lower intelligence, they turn you into a mindless slave. And they could do this to humans, they could do this to pretty much any organic organism. I remember they did it to a human, they've done it to Oods, they've done it to, I believe they've also done it to Time Lords. They've done it to pretty much every single organism, and it turns you into their personal slave. That's pretty much all I have. This is a little bit of a shorter video than I wanted it to be. Now, I do want some input on this because there's so much information. I just wanted to do basic information about all of the different creatures and characters. The next video we're going to do will be on Cybermen. And I would say as we get into further down with different creatures, there's going to be less and less of material. So what I may end up doing is taking these videos, taking some of these creatures and adding them together, because as you go down, there's less and less information. So I'll definitely be doing that. And then once we get kind of a general idea of the different creatures and enemies of the Doctor, we're actually going to talk about the Doctor himself. And then from there we'll be talking about companions, and then I will probably do a video dedicated to the Master and a few other things, and then we'll get even more specific about stuff like the Untempered Schism and things like that. So that's going to be exciting. That's one of my favorite topics to actually talk about. So I believe that's it for this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.